Well, good morning, everybody. Today I am up here in Rabun County, Georgia, in Lakemont, Georgia, and I'm going to be hiking into Shoals Falls. Now, I've hiked into this one before. It's been a little over a year ago. I think it was October of 2023 when I hiked in here last, but I'm going to hike in here again today because it's a beautiful waterfall and it's worth another visit. But it's a beautiful day today. It's supposed to be up in the lower 60s today, if you can believe that. So it's going to be a good day to be out hiking. But anyway, I'm going to get geared up and start heading down through there to the waterfall. Well, I'm walking on down through here to the waterfall. This hike goes along this old logging road. I think this was, if I'm remembering correctly, I think this was logged back in the 80s, all this area in here. I remember coming in here when I was a little boy, and they were logging all this whole area in here off of Wolf Creek. And this is one of the old roads that they graded in here to haul the logs out of. But this trail follows this old logging road down here to the what was the log loading area, the log yard, and then beyond that it is the old skidder road that goes all the way down to the creek, Stokoa Creek. This waterfall is on Stokoa Creek here. But I'll follow, once we get down here to the log yard, I'll follow the old skidder road all the way down the creek. And this is pretty good hiking in here to the old loading area, but beyond that, when you get on the actual old skidder road, it's very steep down in there to the creek. And it's a climb out of there coming back, because it is pretty much straight up. You can only imagine back when they logged this, those old skidders, they were probably screaming coming out of there dragging logs. But just making my way on along this logging road here. This is really nice hiking through here on this section with all these pine needles. Really soft and cushiony. It's always nice to have pine needles to hike on. As you can see, they are thick in here. Now here we are coming in on the old log loading area I was talking about earlier. You can see this is where they drug the logs up here back in the day when they clear cut all of this. And the trucks came in this far and they loaded them up and they headed back out. This whole area here was the log loading area. But we're going to continue on through this. So this section here where it goes, starts going down a mountain. Like I said before, this is now going to be the old skidder road that they drug all the timber up here to the loading area. And like I said, it starts turning off down the mountain pretty steep from this point on. Well, I'm working my way down this steep descent on this old skidder road, and I tell you, the camera just doesn't do it justice on how steep this is. You can probably hear the waterfall over the camera because it sounds like it is really rolling down there, which that's a good thing. Should have good flow. This is one of it. Usually flows pretty well, even in dry periods. But sounds like it's really rolling down there today. But yeah, this last little section of trail before you get down to the creek is very steep. And like I said, it's a tough climb out of here. Actually, when I hiked this back in 2023, I was fine when I got up that morning and came up here and hiked in. Was fine, but while I was down here, because I was down here for a good while, because I was filming and taking pictures and whatnot. While I was down here, I got very sick. And I started running a fever while I was here. I actually got very ill, and I tell you, I was worried that I wasn't going to make it back out of here, especially climbing up this hill. Like I said, it was in October, so it wasn't terribly hot, but man, I tell you, I was running that fever and everything, and it came down to, going, hiking along 10 feet and then stopping for a minute and hiking 10 more feet and stopping and 10 more feet and stopping. Pretty much I had to do it all the way out of here. But that's the first time I'd ever gotten ill like that in the middle of a hike. And I tell you, I was worried that I wasn't going to make it out. Ended up, I came down with the flu. That's what was wrong with me. And shoot, I was taken off the trail for a few weeks there before I actually got over it enough to where I could get back to hiking. It was a real tough bout with the flu that year. And it did me in there for a few weeks. But that last trip in here was very eventful. Let's hope we don't have repeat of that today. As you can see, this is really turning off steep now on this last little section. We're very close. You might be able to see the creek through the trees there. We're very close to the creek now, but this last little section is very steep. And you can imagine those old skidders back in the 80s. I'm sure they were really screaming coming out of here dragging logs. But I'm going to put the camera away where I can concentrate on my footing down through here. Now once you make your way down that steep section there and you get down here, it's perfectly level. Perfectly level flat area here alongside the creek. Walk over here where we can get a partial view of the creek. Like I said, this is Stokoe Creek. Now this one, Stokoe Creek's not a creek you want to get in and play around in. And it's a shame. This one, Stokoe Creek flows right through the center of Clayton, Georgia. And it's one of the most polluted streams in Rabun County, simply due to heavy rains and flooding, and the wastewater treatment plant at Clayton is right beside Stokoe Creek, so it's had a lot of flooding issues where it's the water treatment plant is flooded and it runs into the creek every time it floods. So this is definitely not a creek you want to get in and, you know, play around in, because it is polluted. Most anything you read about Stokoe Creek will tell you that. So, and it's a shame because it is an absolutely beautiful waterway here in northeast Georgia, and it's got these waterfalls and, you know, everything on it, but it is not a water way you want to get in and mess around. But I'm going to continue on toward the waterfall. Well, here, friends, is our first view of Shoals Falls. As we step out here on the sandbar, and as you can see, it's a beautiful waterfall and it's really flowing. But that's our first view. I'm going to try to get closer. But beautiful area here. I'm going to see if I can work my way on around through here. I'm not sure what kind of condition this old trail is going to be in because of the flooding from Helene. Looks like it's really taking a toll in here and washed a lot of this stuff away. But I'm going to try to get up there and get a better view. Okay, so I've worked my way over here on this rock bed. I'm going to see if I can get on up here closer to the waterfall. You can see, well, that is an absolutely beautiful waterfall, and it is really, really flowing. Absolutely beautiful. Well, I made it on up here closer to Shoals Falls. You can see, man, that is a beautiful waterfall. And like I said, the flow, it's at a pretty high flow now, but even in the summertime when it's dry, it flows really well. I mean, drought just doesn't affect this creek that much. so it's always flowing pretty well. But this is as close as I'm going to get to it. As you can see, this rock bed starts sloping pretty heavily, and it is wet and mossy and very slick. So I'm not going to attempt it on up there. I don't want to end up in the creek. But that is Shoals Falls, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video of hiking in here to Shoals Falls. I thank you for coming along with me today. I'm going to try to work my way out of here and back to the car. But I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I thank you for coming along with me today. And I look forward to seeing you on my next adventure. Thanks for watching.